My opponent states that hypocrisy is the main issue because the United Nations is condoning the killing of less intelligent animals and that the intelligence of the individual is a bad way to determine rights because it can be the basis for the denial of human rights and it enabled horrible events like the Spanish Inquisition and others, but that is a complete misinterpretation of my words. I spoke of human intelligence as that of the whole species and suggested that the whole of this dolphin species deserves a recognition of rights. Never once did I say anything about the evaluation of each person's intelligence being necessary to grant them rights, so his argument of hypocrisy from that stance is again wrong and loosely based. Furthermore, the opposition attempted to carry on using the actions of a few UN members as a representation of the United Nations itself because some of the nations involved are part of the UN Security Council and of huge importance, but he doesn't mention that those are the very same countries that have helped to maintain international peace and stability for decades. My opponent is challenging the will and actual actions of these Security Council members in following United Nations demands. I think it is 100% evident that those members do abide by UN mandate, which is indicative of the fact that they will carry on doing so. Therefore, my opponent's argument of hypocrisy is yet again invalidated. Lastly, the opposition attempted to fix its position by rewarding its alternative plan and by trying to argue that I oppose the resolution because I don't support the UN making of a law. I must clarify all this confusion so that my opponent can come back and better inform himself on the dealings of the United Nations, but also so that the judge can have more reasons to vote affirmative for me, the proposition. The resolution calls for the United Nations to adopt a resolution decrying or demanding an end to the annual hunt in Taiji, Japan. To the annual dolphin hunt in Taiji, Japan, excuse me. My logic as stated in my previous video definitely supports this resolution and it does so in a proper manner. My opponent still seems to either be ignorant of the fact or dodging the fact that the UN does not make laws, so it will not pass any bills to ban any transactions. It's simply not possible for the UN to make a law. What it can do is adopt a resolution in the form of a treaty, policy, or conventions that its big Security Council members will continue to abide by, just like they have been abiding to other UN mandates. The opposition's counterplan provides no concrete reason to reject my plan since his arguments of hypocrisy have been invalidated again and again. His disadvantages are also irrelevant because they are based on that same hypocrisy argument, and further, his alternative plan has no solvency at all due to the fact that it cannot possibly come into effect, so he can't even use fiat to protect his arguments because while we do argue as if proposed policies will in fact be adopted, his proposed policy of a UN nation bill can't physically be possible even in a fiat world because the UN does not make laws or pass any bills.